So a client of mine just hit 300,000 views with a video twice. Both of these videos are completely unedited. I mean, captions, raw cut, of course, but no music, nothing. Literally nothing. A lot of people try to copy the Daniel Dalen style or the Iman Gadzhi style, but what if I told you that the #1 best performing video of Iman Gadzhi is literally a PowerPoint presentation and generated more than $20 million?
Creating detail. So let's get started. So there are 3 reasons why this business model works.
You see, there's something completely different that Daniel Dalen, Iman Gadzhi, and my client all have in common. And I only learned that, to be honest, from Iman Gadzhi's chief content officer, Tristan. And when I applied that to my clients, it worked. And now we actually just won the school games because of it. Editing can ruin your video just like it can improve it. And most creators ruin it. And there's a couple reasons why, but the #1 reason is because of something that is called stimuli fatigue. Stimuli fatigue is something that was first described by one of the greatest advertisers in the world called David Ogilvy. He said, you can show the same advertisement to the same mass of people up to 7 times until that advertisement starts to lose its effect. Now, why does that matter? You see, advertisement is content. YouTube videos are content. Instagram Reels are content. TikToks are content. It is all the same thing. And what happens is if you're going to sit in your living room with your parents and you're going to watch TV with them, you're going to see the same advertisements on TV over and over again, up until a point where you don't even pay attention to the advertisements anymore. And that is what naturally happens to human beings. If we see the same thing over and over again, then naturally we just stop paying attention to it because the last 7 times we didn't care, so why should we care this time? And that is the same with editing. If you're going to copy the Daniel Dalen style, Iman Gadzhi style, or any other style out there, what is going to happen is somebody is going to scroll through YouTube, watch a couple of videos, and will probably see 7 other videos who also copied Iman Gadzhi. And once they get to your video, they literally couldn't care less about your editing because you're doing the exact same thing as all the 7 creators before that disappointed them completely. So if you want to edit your videos, find your thing. The #2 thing is cope. You see, there's a lot of creators out there who don't know how to talk, don't know how to script, don't know how to write ideas or even get ideas because all they do is sit in front of their laptop for 12 hours a day and do nothing except work, which doesn't actually conclude to success, by the way. If you look at the most influential people out there, billionaires, millionaires, they are just very good thinkers and not actually that hardworking, but that is something that I'm going to get to in another video. What I'm trying to say is that 3D animations or a lot of motion graphics are basically a way for a lot of creators who start out on social media to hide themselves behind their creation. Because in truth, if Iman Gadzhi can hit 10 million videos with a PowerPoint presentation, then the video editing that was added on top is just a multiplier on the foundation that he has built already. So the foundation is a good idea, a good script, a good hook, and good performance in front of a camera, knowing how to talk, knowing how to move, knowing how to articulate. And as soon as you have that foundation done, editing can really add up to your video by building a great atmosphere. But otherwise, it is just a waste of your money and a waste of your time. I see it often enough, entrepreneurs who spend thousands of dollars on video editing, but then don't perform, instead of just sitting in front of a camera and yapping like I am doing it right now. So if you suck at content creation, that's okay. But what you must understand is if you're gonna try to retain an audience through video editing, you will never learn how to retain an audience through words and through speech. Interesting thing that I learned, I actually signed up to a program from Iman Gadzhi where I learned how to build info businesses because right now I'm working with a lot of clients who I scale info businesses for. And what he basically taught us is that this guy literally spent money in order to go to improv classes or learn how to speak, which means he has a speech coach and he also goes to improv classes just to learn how to act in front of the camera. That is how far people go who actually perform on social media. It is not the crazy video editing. That's just a multiplier of what you have built before with your skills that you acquired through talking into the camera, writing scripts, writing hooks, yada, yada, yada. And what you should do instead, which is now #3, is probably the most important thing, which is understand the hierarchy of what is most important to what is least important and just focus on the 20% back at 80% of the result. So the #1 thing on the hierarchy is the concept itself, then it is the thumbnail, then it is the hook, then it is the script, then it is the performance, and then, only then, comes the video editing. So it's the 6th place. The #1 thing is the concepts, right? The ideas. If you're not going to be able to create good ideas because, as I said, all you do is work, but you never actually take time off to listen to podcasts, read books, or actually get knowledgeable at what you do, then you will never have any good ideas, or you will run out of good ideas very quickly. So no matter how well your scripts or your hooks are, if your ideas suck, your video sucks. And then #2 is the thumbnail. YouTube is basically an advertisement platform. It is a visual picture and under that you have a title. just like an advertisement. Which means if you're going to be able to optimize your thumbnails and maybe not even produce 1 thumbnail per video, but maybe produce 3 thumbnails or 4 thumbnails per video, and then A/B test all of these thumbnails, what's going to happen is you're going to have way more people click on your video. You see, if your concept is good, your title is going to be interesting. And if your thumbnail is good, people are going to be very intrigued to click on your video, because now you don't only have a good thumbnail, but you also have a good title, and they will also want to listen until the end because your idea as of itself is unique and interesting and people want to listen to it. So a lot of people on YouTube will invest most of their time into the hook of a script, but never actually invest time into their thumbnail. And then once the video is done, they just spend like 10 minutes to bang out a thumbnail as soon as possible. But you must understand that that is the most important thing. You can have the greatest video in the world, but if your concept sucks, your title sucks. And if your thumbnail sucks, then nobody's going to click on your video. And although you have the greatest video in the world, YouTube is going to give you no impressions because nobody's going to click through onto your videos. Now, the third most important thing is the hook. If you're going to land the hook, you're pretty much good to go to retain people over the whole entire video. Because if you set enough loops inside your hook, people will want to watch your video until the end. What do I mean with hooks? Not hooks, loops. I'm not gonna cut that out, it's raw. Loops are topics that you open but don't finish before ending the video. For example, in the beginning of this video, I told you that a client of mine just hit 300,000 views on a video, and I told you that there's something completely different that my client and Daniel Dahlin and Iman Gadzhi have in common. And honestly, that I only know this because I work with Iman Gadzhi's chief content officer, Tristan. That is a loop that I opened up. Now, people want to know what the thing is that my client and Daniel Dahlin and Iman Gadzhi have in common, and what it is that I learned from Tristan, Iman Gadzhi's chief content officer. That is a loop that you open inside the hook. You can open many loops, you can open only one loop. The stronger your loops are, the more intriguing it will be to watch the video until the end, no matter whether your script sucks or not. And then people will watch your video for a longer time. And then the fourth thing is the script. Believe it or not, your script is actually not about retaining an audience, but your script is about making sure that once you retained your audience and once somebody watched your video, they're actually intrigued to come back to you and watch your video the next time that they see it on their feed. Which means the script is actually not to retain an audience. It is literally to deliver on the exact loops that you open inside the hook of the video. If you're going to deliver on what you promise, then people will want to watch more videos of you, and over time, long term, your YouTube channel will grow and your content will grow. Whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on Instagram, every single time. And then comes the video editing. You can edit your videos. I'm not saying that that is a bad thing. I'm just saying that you shouldn't try to retain an audience through video editing. What you should do instead is to focus on setting an atmosphere, on causing an emotion through video editing. There's a lot of video editors out there who know how to handle the software, but who have no idea on how to handle emotions, who are not empathetic and who don't know how to cause an emotion and who don't know how to make people laugh, make people cry, make people be intrigued, and make people be sad and happy and motivated and inspired. And that is something that your video editor should know. You should not have an army of video editors that you pay $5 an hour to, but you should just have video editors that you really pay a lot of money to, who genuinely know how to cause an emotion, because that is the only thing that your video editor is supposed to do: cause an emotion. And if you're a video editor, maybe you should focus less on trying to impress people on Twitter and focus more on causing an emotion inside your viewers' minds. Because yes, of course, if you have the craziest 3D animations, maybe you're gonna get a client today, or maybe you're gonna get a client tomorrow. But if you're gonna get your clients a lot of results with your video editing, it might just be that a couple of months down the line, you will have people begging to work with you. And that is something that you wanna build long term. So focus on causing an emotion and not on trying to retain an audience, because that doesn't work by your editing anymore. People are very tired. Now, there's one last thing that I want to mention, that I want to give you as kind of a reward for watching my video until the end. There's a pattern that we spotted inside social media right now. You must understand that we work with a lot of creators on YouTube right now. We scaled the world's #1 highest grossing school community inside the health niche right now, which is called Oscar's Community. I've scaled my own personal brands to more than 500,000 followers. I'm scaling this YouTube brand right now. And one pattern that we recognize is that people still want high quality content, but they just want high quality footage instead of high quality editing, which means high quality pre-production instead of high quality post-production. So if you're an entrepreneur or you're a content creator, what you should invest in is not a high quality video editor who can do the 3D animations, but actually invest in high quality equipment or in a high quality videographer. Because in fact, if you look at the best performing guys right now on social media, let's look at Matt Gray, let's look at Iman Gadzhi, let's look at Daniel Dahlin, let's look on Instagram on Nathan Nazaret. All these guys have one thing in common. They have incredible visual hooks, which they use in order to build intrigue for their Instagram, for their YouTube videos, for whatever. And that is something that you should do as well. Visual hooks still work, and you can retain an audience through visual hooks. just not through high quality editing. People don't care about your editing style. Now I want to make you a promise. From working with a lot of clients in personal branding and in scaling info businesses, I have a lot of knowledge about personal branding that most people simply don't have, because we have the ability to take the data from our clients and I can take that out to YouTube to teach it to you. Now I promise, if you're going to be able to subscribe to me, I will be able to share even more with you that I get from my clients over time. Because the more people subscribe, the more people this video gets shown to, and the more people I reach, the more clients I get, which means the more data I get and the more data I can share with you. So if you're interested and you like what you see, then just could you do me a favor and just subscribe to this channel. That is it. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye. I completely forgot about this part. I once created a reel on Instagram that reached 8.9 million views and gained 516,000 followers all through one reel, which means every 17th viewer of that reel followed me. I broke down the entire framework and I put it into a video which is around 10 minutes long, and the video is up here. If you want to watch it, it changed my entire life. I was 18 years of age at that time. We had around 1,000 followers. A couple weeks down the line, we had 500,000. That was insane. If you're interested, the video is up here. Bye-bye.